When you're selling a property and it has a pool or a spa attached, you're going to need a compliance certificate. What I'm going to go through today is invite Blake from East Coast Building and Pest Services to run us through what's required to make something compliant. We're going to start off with the spa, then we're going to go to a pool. I'll bring Blake into it. I'll see you soon. I'm here with Blake from East Coast Building and Pest Services. How are you, Blake?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's good. Thanks for being on board today, mate. I know you've taken time out of your busy schedule.
Yep.
But look, this will be really helpful. We get clients call all the time about whether what they need in order to get compliant. So if you could run us through a few things. Let's start with the spa. I'm here at Amanda's place, my business partner. She's the lucky one with an outdoor spa, mate. So let's get into that and we'll have a look. All right, so what's required to make this compliant?
It's got to have a lockable lid.
Okay.
So that's done with usually little latches on the side, anchored down to the framework of the spa, then the lid basically can't be moved without being unlocked.
Perfect. Doesn't need a key lock or anything, just needs to be latched.
Just needs to be latched with those little clips like a bicycle helmet.
Beautiful. If we haven't got the lockable lid, what are our options?
You can fence the spa.
Right, okay, so right around just this section?
Right around the spa so it's isolated from the rest of the area.
So no one can get in?
No one can get in.
Yep,
that's
right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Any height restrictions?
Yeah, there is. So it depends if you're using it as a boundary fence as part of the barrier, or you're just going to single it off and put a fence around it. It's 1.2 minimum.
1.2 metres minimum, so 1200 in builder's terms as well.
Yep.
Right, yeah. That has to go right around. If this one didn't have a lockable lid, what sort of you would come back and say it's non-compliant?
Yes, that's right.
And this is why it's non-compliant. Now, what if they get the fence in, they get you back? What's the process?
Yeah, that's right. So we do a non-compliance certificate.
Yep.
We write up a report stating what the non-compliance issues are and what they need to do to rectify the issues.
Yep, great. Is that all they need? Just a fence, lockable lid, anything else?
No, you also need a CPR chart.
Okay, right.
Current one that's clearly visible from the spa area in case an accident does happen.
Right, if the client hasn't got one, can you install them or they've got to go to Bunnings? What's the situation?
Well, usually we carry a couple on us because sometimes it's quite regular that they are not there available on site. They're not there or they're faded or being damaged. Yep. So it is, it works out better if we just have to carry a couple on us.
Fantastic. And this might be different for a pool and a spa. Is there a time period that it takes to get a report done? How long does a client need? So if a spa like this, how long does this take you?
For start to finish, usually about 24 hours and they'll have their report and non-compliance or compliance certificate.
Fantastic, great. And for clients out there, you can sell a property with a non-compliance certificate. However, the buyer would need to have that compliant within 90 days of settlement. And that applies to spa or pool. So with those sort of things, talk to us so we can then explain to you whether you should go ahead or not, whether we should exchange, whether we should settle. We can work all that through. Mate, that's pretty good. Why don't we head over to the pool and see what we can find out there?
Right, sounds good.
Beautiful. See you at the pool. Okay, welcome back. We're now at the pool. So, mate, let's go through, check out what needs to be done. I'm guessing resus chart, that needs to be whether it's pool or spa. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, okay. And it's a fair bit of area that we're going to be covering here to go through and check out. I'm going to throw the gimbal on and I'll follow you around the pool. Is that all right?
Yep, fine.
Brilliant. All right, let's do that right now.
Righto, we're going to start through by measuring the internal pool fence. The measurement's taken on the outside of the internal pool fence. It's got to be 1200 millimetres from finished ground level or a fundamentally stable object. We'll go through and have a look. The measurement here is off the concrete up to the top. It's above 1.2 metres. That's okay. The next thing we're going to measure in the non-climb zone, you can't have anything within 900 millimetres of each other with a depth of greater than 10 mil. So the pool hinges, because of the width of it, they've got to be further than 900 millimetres apart, or a 60-degree angle fitted to the top of one of them to make it not climbable anymore. And they're greater than 900. The next measurement we check is the top button on the latch up the top here. That's got to be 1.5 metres minimum from finished ground level. And that's at 1.6. There's plenty of height there. There's 3 measurements to check when checking a gate, whether it closes correctly. The first one is all the way open. Halfway open. And from its final resting position of there. And as you can see, this one does not close. Now usually, there's a number of different reasons for that. It could be the hinges, the springs have worn out, or it could be something misaligned with the latch. So we'll have a look further. And you can see the latch is wound out a little bit. So all we're going to do now is try and adjust that a little bit, wind it in, and see if it improves it. We'll go back to the final resting position where it failed from. Test it 3 times. And from the other 2 positions, just to make sure nothing's changed. And the final test with the gate, give it a bit of a shake to make sure it can't come undone when it's latched. Now, good practice to do when it's not in use, you take the key out of the latch and put it in a safe position where small children can't get to it, so the gate will always be locked at all times when not in use. CPR signs on fences. It's ideally to keep it in a position where you're going to make an exit from the pool if you do have an accident. So you wouldn't put it in the far corner away from the gate, because naturally if there was something going to happen, you retrieve the person out of the pool and you go to an open space to perform the CPR, and usually that's where you have the sign so you can refer to it.
Mate, is there if I can just ask about the sign, is there a time limit? Are there different signs? I mean, I'm looking at that one there, says Dr. S ABC D. That was a little bit different from I learned it was used to be Dr. ABC.
Yeah, so they did change the signs a few years back. What people were doing, if you step 3 in the new signs now says send for help. A lot of that never used to be in there. People were doing CPR and following the sign and getting through to the final step and doing CPR for sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and they still hadn't caught an ambulance. There was no one on their way.
God, well, that makes sense, yes.
Put it into step 3 to check everything. Make sure you do yourself right first and checking for danger. Then try and see if they've got a response and send for help. By this time, the ambulance is on its way. You're starting CPR.
Yep.
By the time they get here, they can
Real
take
good.
over.
Gotcha. Beautiful. That's why it's a little bit different. So there is a time limit on them then?
Well, there is,
Yeah.
but it's just got to be current with whatever's current at the time.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, what else should we be looking at in a pool like this?
So this one's pretty straightforward, but there are some climbable objects that come into the non-climb zones. We're coming for a walk down the end here with the pavers up.
Yep.
Now these pavers and the brick at the back there can be used as a foothold by someone, a small child, putting their foot through the fence and using it as a stepping aid to get over the fence. So the best thing to do is you remove them all together. For the main, we'll just take them out of the way.
And that makes it compliant, does it?
That will make it, yes.
Yeah, perfect. No dramas, lovely. Mate, I have heard of 2 people people saying that vegetation, I can't get it approved, it's non-compliant because of vegetation. Is that because of the height with the fence?
It's because of the height of the fence and what type of vegetation it is.
Yep.
So it's got to be, if it's climbable vegetation, so that means if there's branches or sticks or objects within that vegetation that can be used to be climbed on to gain access into the pool area,
Yep.
that's why it'll be non-compliant.
Great, okay. Now this fence does comply, it's the right height. If it didn't, what sort of things can we do to make it compliant?
Well, you can see in the past here when they've had to extend the fence to bring it up to the current standard.
Yep.
Because that is at 1.8, you can have horizontal members that are climbable.
Okay.
But then there's another measurement that comes in, which is a 900mm arc. You can't have anything climbable within that. So you can see from the top of the fence rail down,
Yep.
where 900 would be, there's nothing climbable on this side.
Yep.
Now, boundary
Gotcha.
fences are measured on the internal side of the pool, of the fence, and that's because you don't have control as a owner of a house on the external side, but it's either a neighbouring property or it's on the council land.
Right, gotcha. Beautiful. What else we got here, mate?
So we've got a pool scoop leaning against the fence. Look, it can't really be used as a climb aid, but for safety reasons and just to make sure you don't have any issues at all, lay them down flat on the concrete. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, got these solar blankets as well.
Yep.
To keep leaves out and keep heat in the pool during the spring and autumn months when it does get a bit cooler, if you want to try and get a bit more use out of the pool during those times. Now that's within a non-climb zone against the fence there, so we'll move that away from the fence. We'll also remove the pool scoop. Now ideally that solar blanket, if you put it up the other end of the pool, being
Yep.
a 1.8 metre fence, it'll be outside of the 900 non-climb zone, so it would be fine.
Right.
That'll be my instructions to this owner at this time, is to put it up the other end of the pool. to
Gotcha.
Maintain compliance.
Beautiful. Now it can't be used to climb on.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Plenty of room there. You've got to have a minimum of 300 mil on the internal side of a pool fence where there can't be any climbable objects.
Gotcha. Beautiful. And that's pretty much it, is it, mate? They're the main ones.
Pretty much it, mate, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, okay.
There's different heights and stuff for boundary fences depending on when the last major modification was done or when the pool was installed. But your private certifier will go through all that with you at the time.
Beautiful. You have it. That's how to go about getting compliance for your pool. That's all the things you need to check before even Blake comes out to know whether you're going to comply or not. But mate, I just want to say thanks very much for being part of it. Thank you for showing all those tips and tricks. How do people get in contact with you?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram, through Google, so type FPAPs into Google, it'll come up. Yeah, whoever's there is.
Great. They just obviously book a time with you, pay online and all those bits and pieces before you come out?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a pretty automated system set up where they get sent a text message and they click on the link and step by step straight through to do our agreement forms.
Perfect.
If there's any other questions they've got, or even just a phone call if they're unsure of anything, they can give me a phone call and we'll have a chat about it on the phone. And
Right. Now, we didn't talk about it in this video because it'll be way too long, but you do pest and building reports as well, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, great, no worries. So I can give you a call about that. So if you're looking for a pest and building inspector, Blake can do that as well. Do the whole lot, all at once. All right, well, thank you again for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. If you've got any questions, contact Blake or give us a call. We've got all his details and we'll be able to answer any questions you've got. Thanks again.